I am here on Giant Steps with sax player Ben Vize and bassist Ben Crane, two members of the fantastic jazz collective PYJÄN, who released their brilliant second album, Feast, late last year. So hello, Ben and Ben. Thanks for coming on the show.
Hey, flower pot men are in business.
To go straight into the new album, then, how did you decide on Feast as a title?
Oh yeah, that was we went through quite a few album titles, and then I can't remember who actually came up with it. But one of us, basically we thought, this album's got so many different styles and genres, and like we all had such a massive input into the creation of this. We thought, we'd call it Feast, to kind of almost like a feast of just music, a feast of sounds, and different things.
Yeah. And it kind of started as, we had the idea to like make everything about food, but then it kind of realized that would be just a bit insane.
Yeah. That's why the first track is called
Aperitif, and then it kind of we wanted it to feel like a kind of a journey from start.
Yeah.
So
almost
an experience.
Yeah, a slight concept kind of album kind of thing. I mean, we're both kind of into proggy stuff as well. Like, I love the ideas of concept albums, even though this isn't really that. We try to kind of and tie it all in together. That was the idea of the name. I remember actually we had a big discussion about whether it should be called The Feast or Feast. The Feast, and I thought that was not a good idea. I can't remember. Yeah,
we had an argument about every song as well, to put whether to put the at the start.
Man, yeah. But so yeah, that's basically the idea of the album title.
Who knew the word "the" would be the biggest point of disagreement?
Everything is changed by the presence of the. Beatles. It was just called Beatles. It's a totally different thing.
It's very true.
I read that the album was recorded in just 5 days at Peter Gabriel's Real World Studios. How was this as an experience?
That was amazing. Actually, we it was residential, so we stayed there for a full 5 days, and we just worked non-stop every day. It was 12 hours. It was really, really, really cool work. Like, never did anything like this before, where you just really got stuck into creating. We had a whole schedule kind of planned out, like when we were going to record this and that, but we still had loads of time for like lots of creative ideas and everything, and it was very, very cool. Actually, I loved that.
Yeah, it was just great to be in just in an environment where everything just flowed really well, and you could just, as musicians, we could just focus on just doing and it was just all quite effortless.
Yeah, definitely.
With it being like a residential studio, did you ever sort of wake up in the middle of the night with sort of ideas that you could go straight into the studio, or is it get a good night's sleep and back to work?
Well, because we didn't want to piss off our sound engineer too much.
Yeah.
It's 2 a.m., but I have this idea. Wait.
No, I think we were. I mean, we were, grinding pretty hard. I think we were very sensible. There was no, there was no partying in the evenings or anything. We were, up like 9 every day, back to sleep 10 or 9. So. It was great.
9. That's if you're a musician.
It was bloody great. Yeah.
And unlike the first album, both this record and your 2020 EP Sage Secrets feature guest artists and collaborators. On Feast you have Nick's Northwest, Hiltz, Quarto Alto, just to name a few. But what guided this sort of decision to have more people enter into this world of PYJÄN?
Yeah. The thing with like bringing people into the fold is just you just kind of get to expand in other ways in terms of creatively what we're doing, and especially with the singers and stuff, it was great to get that aspect together, because none of us can sing, and so we all like have just a deep connection vocal music.
Yeah. And gold plated from Stage Secrets went so well. We really and as did so many people. The public seemed to really love that too. We thought we wanted more vocalists on our albums, on our tunes, and that's kind of half the reason why we went with so many vocalists. But also just just kind of like getting loads of different ideas when you collaborate. You can create something just so unique, and it's a really cool way to just bond with other musicians and other artists and things like that, and just share ideas, and it's really cool. Love doing it.
It's also an excellent marketing technique. So that's also factored into it.
Well, they make great additions to the record. And you say no one from PYJÄN can sing, but maybe the third record will feature some vocals.
I mean, we did sing on our first record.
We did.
The last tunes, Search for the Sticky Side, we all sing at the end.
Oh, is that you guys? Oh, lovely. Yeah, you can sing then.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
I mean, I've started doing some singing anyway, so backing vocal stuff on my own things. Who knows?
With Feast, you were lucky enough to launch the album at the Jago in November as part of the London Jazz Festival, playing the record in its entirety. How special was this performance?
Very good.
That was incredible. That was like such a special gig, and it was so beautiful to see. We started our set at midnight, and which I remember I was really worrying about just like the attendance, and it was absolutely it was rammed,
but rammed with like people who kind of knew it.
It was insane. We never experienced like this kind of a crowd that knew our tunes and like are singing along, like it was so special, and it was just such a fantastic experience. And also to play the album the whole way through, I thought that was really cool.
Yeah,
that was definitely a kind of goal of ours to have done, and just went really well.
Nice. And Ben, you mentioned just a little bit ago about sort of singing backing vocals on your other projects, and in November you also did your first ever gig for one of your other projects, Nostalgic Orange, and of course you've got the Ken Hoon Band as well. But sort of how do you sort of juggle these different projects, and does your approach sort of differ between them and PYJÄN?
Yes and no. I mean, with Ken Hoon, which is a project led by drummer Jack Yardley. I'm not as in the forefront with that, so I don't do as much. I don't manage it or anything like that in the same way that I do with Nostalgic Orange, which is my own thing, and also with PYJÄN now as well. Like just kind of organising musically and just kind of take all stuff to do with rehearsals and like playing with other artists and things like that. Just with those two bands, PYJÄN and Nostalgic Orange, they're very similar. I treat it very the same essentially. Just it's just another one of I mean, PYJÄN's a bit different because it's a collective. Nostalgic Orange is very much my thing, but it's kind of I treat them the same way, and the same with Ken Hoon. Just kind of just kind of play along with those guys as well, and it's a good way to do it. I'm rambling on about absolutely nothing now.
It wasn't about me, so I say it.
But I don't know. Yeah, I treat it. It's all music, and it's all my passions. I treat it all the same. I really rambled on that.
Well, to go back in time a little bit now, then to sort of the beginning of that passion. How did you sort of both first start playing your respective instruments? How did you enter into the world of music?
I started. I mean, it's a pretty stereotypical bass story where I started with guitar, and then I was the shittest guitar player, and at school, at my secondary school, and so they started me on bass.
It was so bad they were like, you have to be on the bass.
Yeah. And I was like at that time, I was very into like funk music and like Stevie Wonder and stuff like that. The bass parts in all that music was what got me. So I did gravitate towards it as well.
Yeah, and then double bass as well.
Double bass came from going to jazz school and then everyone bullying me until I started playing double bass. But then I love it. It's not my choice. Most of these decisions I now realise it's being cajoled into, yeah.
Do you have a preference between the bass and the double bass now?
I couldn't. I love them both.
Oh, that's very sweet.
It's like choosing between your children.
Yeah.
What about you, Ben?
I had a slightly different, a different kind of upbringing to music. I started on the piano when I was really young, from my parents, who were both quite musical, and then moved on to the sax. I was a bit older, just because I liked the look of it. That was literally the reason I started the saxophone, because I thought it looked really good. And that's also, like, you know, saxophone is such a generic, you know, jazz instrument. You know, you don't, if you play the saxophone, chances are you're going to be thinking about jazz anyway. And that's how I kind of got into jazz music. And also I used to play the drums as well. I used to be a drummer in a rock band. And
Cool.
All that stuff as well. And that nearly became, you know, a forefront of my musical journey, I guess, or whatever. And and instead I kind of went back in the background, and then I just carried on with saxophone, and yeah, just music college, met Ben, all that stuff, and yeah,
the rest is history.
Yeah, just that's basically what it's been like.
Yeah.
Did you all meet at music college, everyone in the band?
Yes.
Yeah,
we
did.
Jazz school.
We started off
Trinity
as
Laban.
Vice Quintet, not Vise, which is my name, but Vice.
Which is very confusing.
It is. Yeah, that literally was our first band name, though. And that was in 2016, 2015.
Yeah.
Literally, you were in second year, or maybe even first.
Yeah, something like that. I remember.
Yeah, so we've been going for a while now.
Yeah.
Still going strong. Well, something that I actually quite enjoyed was reading the band profiles you posted a while back on your Instagram. And two things that really sort of stuck out for me was, first with you, Ben, was the fact that you always carry a massage ball around with you. Is this still a tradition, or how long has it been going on for?
That's 100% not true. I had a massage ball at the session.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh,
but then,
okay. So there's some truth.
Danny Diodato threw it. He took it off me. It's the older boys always bullying me. He threw it away, and then yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say that's a core part of my identity.
No, you definitely. That was definitely a Ben joke.
I'm actually quite.
That was a crane joke.
That was fake news.
It's fake news.
Fake.
I'm quite a stiff person, and I hold on to my.
Well, yeah, here we go. Well, we're separating the fact from the fiction, the real questions here. But the other one, let's see if this one it is true. This was about you, Ben. Was that your ultimate goal was to write a Frank Zappa album for an anime series on Netflix? Now, this sounds amazing. What would this entail if this is a goal?
Damn. You know what? I remember these aren't actually. I mean, our manager wrote these bios for us essentially, and he kind of interpreted what we were like and what he thought we would love to do. So this is why we're both, I think, a bit confused with the things. And I mean, so what was that said? I would write a Frank Zappa album for Netflix. Is that?
Yeah, it was in your description was his dream, not just that you'd want to. Your ultimate goal was the phrase was to write a Frank Zappa album for an anime series on Netflix.
Oh my god! Oh yeah. That's because I like to watch, as does Ben Crane as well. I'm going to loop him into this as well. I love to watch some anime.
I don't. I'm cool.
You know, he definitely does. We both watch it together.
I'm hanging out with my friends outside.
And so we really love anime, and I love Frank Zappa. He's, you know, probably my biggest inspiration, and I think those two mixed together would be quite an achievement. Imagine an anime with a soundtrack of Zappa inspired music. That'd be nuts. But I've got to confess that was a dream thought of.
That was a media. That was a media stunt.
Yeah. So not quite to the truth, but
we're not
not far off.
Not full fake news, but sort of white lies.
Yes,
maybe then. Yes. But speaking of Zappa, still, I did see that Ben, you led an 8-piece band at the Jazz Cafe at the start of January, playing sort of a selection of Zappa tunes. How much fun was that, and was it sort of a challenge to arrange all those tracks for an 8-piece band?
It was. I mean, I wouldn't say it was a challenge because I loved it so much. It didn't, I was obsessed, getting the exact, trying to arrange, for this band in particular, but also trying to make sure I got all the little nuances of what Zappa, wrote in his music and try and combine it to arrange for this band. Yeah, it was amazing. I absolutely loved it, and yeah, it was such a great turnout. Ben Crane was there. He was watching. It was really fun, really, really fun, and the band were amazing. They really played their hearts out, so it was really cool. Yeah,
it was great. It was great from an objective standpoint. It was great.
Did you have a favourite track that you played in the evening?
Ooh, that's very hard. All of them I absolutely love. I really love Packard Goose, and also the Black Page in particular. I love those tunes. By the way, I actually just remembered, I saw on your Instagram profile you had your profile picture was Trap Mask Replica by what's his name?
Captain Beefheart.
Which I thought was interesting, which Frank Zappa produced. Are you a fan?
Yeah, no, I'm a big Zappa fan. Yeah, so I only saw the show after you'd already posted about it and performed it, so I was kind of gutted I couldn't have come down and seen it.
I recorded and filmed the whole thing, and I also had someone filming it in the crowd as well. So I'm gonna make some little music videos of the show.
Oh, nice!
And hopefully make this into a bit more of a thing. I mean, the band loved it so much that I'd love to do it at some other venues, and kind of carry it on. And hopefully one day play all of Joe's Garage in it.
Oh yes,
that's never been done, and that'd be a very a really cool.
It'd be a long gig.
It'd be a long gig. But it'd be well attended.
Yeah.
It's literally never been done before, so that'd be quite a feat.
Oh, I would love to see that happen. I would definitely be there for the Joe's Garage in its entirety. But now here on Giant Steps, we are predominantly a jazz show. So a question I do always like to ask guests is, if you had to recommend a jazz track to someone new to the genre, what would it be and why?
That's a good question.
That is a very good question.
I don't know. What was the first thing that got you?
So
first jazz tune?
The first jazz tune ever, not ever. The first jazz tune that I was like, oh my god!
Is it Joni Mitchell?
No, it's not. It's not. That was even though that is amazing. No, it was the Brecker Brothers playing some Skunk Funk.
Oh, really?
At and also the Guildhall, jazz people came to my school and performed some Skunk Funk, and I was like, what the hell was that? And then I looked it up online, and I was like, oh my god, who's this Brecker guy? This is beyond. This is my brain was sizzling, and this is very tailored for me though, super fast, super just high energy, so for me that was probably perfect, but not everyone likes that kind of in your face jazz like that. So I don't know, maybe it's not the best pick, but I would definitely choose it.
I think it depends on the person you're introducing the music to, because some people are and some people aren't. I mean, I'm a big fan of Ahmed Jamal, and I find his music really just amazing. But I'm wondering, I think it could be a great introduction.
I mean, but the thing, if you showed me that when I was young, I'd probably be it's nice, but I'm bored.
You're bored.
Which is really.
It is a bit. All the joy in that music comes from the space and the playful quietness.
That isn't to say that I don't enjoy. I love.
I hate.
I'm just thinking of my team.
No,
my teenage
you
self,
hate-
who was, super just
yeah,
excitable,
I
would
might
have been
the
like, oh,
same.
yeah.
Yeah, I might have been the same. I don't know. So yeah,
I used to listen to Bill Evans though. I really like Bill Evans.
because you never know what's going to get you. Because when I was like 15, I was listening to like a lot of like funky music, and then I used to just like obsessively listen to the album with Bill Evans and Tony Bennett called. Well, there's one that's called Together Again. I think it's the second time they did one, and I just played it obsessed with it. And it's just ballads.
Yeah.
So it's like you can never really
Yeah.
tell what's gonna tickle someone.
It's true. Probably some Charlie Parker, to be honest. I reckon some really some of the really nicely recorded ones.
Yeah.
I could really turn some people. I reckon.
Turn them on.
Yeah.
Or Count Basie. I'm going to say Count Basie.
Final answer.
Final answer, Count Basie. Because it slaps.
It does slap. That's very true.
Nice. I think all of those suggestions were definitely very good, different entries into the world of jazz. But sort of now to finish on one of your own tracks, we're going to play your track Night Bus next on the show. Brilliant composition. And could you tell us sort of a little bit more about the origin of this track and what you love about it?
So I wrote this one. Yeah, it came from my genius mind. It was a lockdown song, and I was just it was one of those strange ones where I was like, I kind of was like doing little like giving myself restrictions when I write a tune, and I was like, I had the idea. I was like, what if it was like, a 4 on the floor vibe, except it was 7 on the floor groove, and I was like,
it's amazing.
I was like,
how do you? That's really impressive.
I was like, that's like music 2.0.
And also I love that this. I mean, because this actually was when we were in lockdown. We did it as a IGTV kind of thing, as like a 1-minute track, and you chose the instruments tenor horn and soprano. So even then as well, like breaking boundaries with the kind of with the orchestration. It's beautiful, So very very clever.
I can't figure out what kind of you said was Zionist and what was sarcastic, but thanks.
I love that the two Bens breaking boundaries. But well, thank you very much for coming on the show and talking to me.
Pleasure.
For everyone out there, PYJÄN's latest album Feast is available now, a fantastic must listen record, and here is another wonderful track from it in the form of Night Bus.